Hello. Thank you so much for coming here. So we're super excited to chat with Rodrigo Malta, head of admissions for Texas McCombs. I'm here myself. I'm Scott. I'm the founder of Personal MBA Coach, and I'll give a brief intro to myself and the company, and then I'll let Rodrigo introduce himself, and we'll talk a little bit about McCombs. So I went to MIT for undergrad, working for my MBA. I've been running Personal MBA Coach for the last 17 years, #1 rated consultant in the world on poets and quants. We got over 11 million in scholarships last year. A lot came from McCombs, so thank you. And we help with all the parts of the process, from figuring out your profiles, editing essays, resume, rec letters, interview prep with former interviewers, GMAT, GRE tutoring. But more about our services can be found on our website. Here today, we're more just here to hear a little bit about Texas McCombs. So, Rodrigo, love it if you wanted to just kind of do a brief introduction and tell us a little bit about how you first got involved in admissions.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Scott, for the opportunity to be here, and hello, everybody. By way of introduction, my name is Rodrigo Malta. I also go by Digo, D-I-G-O. You can call me either one, Rodrigo or Digo. But I'm originally from Brazil. I immigrated to the US when I was in high school. And prior to getting my MBA at UT Austin, I was an internal auditor for 5 years. I didn't quite know what I wanted to necessarily do. And decided to go more of the finance route. In my first year, I was able to secure an internship at Johnson & Johnson up in New Jersey in finance, and then found out that there were people in the world that are a lot more passionate about numbers and budgeting and forecasting than I was. So it's like, that is not for me. I'm going to switch gears. My second year focused in marketing. After graduation, worked at Dell for about a year in marketing, which is headquartered in Austin, Dallas. And I was fortunate enough to be able to stay in Austin after my MBA from UT and really continue the relationships that I had with our MBA admissions team. I was one of the leaders for the admissions ambassador program, and ended up finding an institution, an industry function that really spoke to me in admissions, and had an opportunity to come back and start working at UT Austin as the main diversity recruiter for the full-time MBA program. And this was back in 2008. And I've been at UT Austin since then. So I'm really passionate about Texas McCombs. I'm very, very passionate about the MBA program and the transformative journey that prospective students will partake in, no matter where they go to school at Texas McCombs. And there are so many great institutions all over the US and the world that I feel like it is a degree that is a worthwhile investment.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Yeah, one of the more passionate admissions directors I know. So very, very excited to have you here again. So what makes you excited to start each new application season?
I love meeting prospective students. A huge part of the work that we do is spreading the word, sharing the story of Texas McCombs with our prospective students. Another side of the job that we do is just meeting people and shepherding them through the admissions process, ensuring that they have the information about the school and the application process to put their best foot forward. There's the evaluative piece of the admissions job, which is also a lot of fun, but recognizing that's fairly stressful for the applicant, the evaluative part about the admissions committee. But I just love meeting candidates and hearing their personal stories. Really, it's a privilege to be able to kind of listen and sometimes advise on where they want to go from a personal and professional trajectory, and they share their dreams and aspirations. A lot of times, information that is really personal to them about the world that they had to travel to be where they are today. And it's just such a privilege to be in a place where we can be there and listen to those stories, and to the best of our abilities, help advise candidates in the best path forward.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I love is seeing someone, knowing that they're going to be great, but okay, maybe the plan that they lay out isn't quite the right plan, and so talking them through that's also super exciting too. So I guess a little bit about McCombs, right? For some of our viewers that are experts on Texas, or maybe not as much, trying to do a little bit more research. Many people think of Austin, and they might think of startups, and perhaps this is what draws them to apply to McCombs. What are some other things that you think the school is best known for?
Yeah, so from an MBA perspective, I feel like oftentimes, okay, so yeah, so I'm going to speak more from the MBA perspective, but when candidates kind of see the University of Texas or that pops up on their radar, they think of a large research institution. So we have a lot of students, right? But something that we always like to share with prospective students is that we have a really intimate MBA program where you're able to really customize the 2 years that you have with us here at Texas McCombs. So I think that intimate setting, the ability for you to really mold the program in the way that you best see fit and have that personalized support is really a hallmark of our MBA program. That it's not the same with really large public research universities in the US. We have all of the resources of a really large public research university, but we're able to deliver a program that is right sized to you. So you are in the center of everything that we do. So a couple highlights from a curriculum perspective: 70% of our courses in the MBA program are self-selected. So after the core in the first semester, everything else is pretty much self-selected coursework. We have over 20 concentrations. Many are interdisciplinary. So McCombs is not necessarily known as the finance school or the marketing school. We are really strong in entrepreneurship and tech, but we have a really great breadth of faculty members that are experts in everything that we do across a lot of the different disciplines. And we connect our concentrations with other colleges outside the business school. So if you're pursuing our real estate finance concentration, for example, you are going to be taking classes at the School of Architecture, at the School of Public Policy, and the School of Law. So I think that interdisciplinary nature of the program, I think, is really key and something that we are very proud of.
Super helpful to hear. And one of the reasons I love doing these interviews, I mean, I've known you forever and I've known McCombs forever, but I feel like every time I do these, I learn more things. So I'm sure our viewers will really appreciate that too. Um, so is there anything, I mean, you might have answered this in the previous question, but is there anything that you feel like is most often overlooked? If you had to say, maybe people should know about the school that they don't really realize, anything else that you might want to share?
Yeah, the additional kind of thing that I'll add is that we oftentimes do talk about Austin, and there are great reasons to talk about Austin. It's a great place to live and a place for MBA students to go to school. But I don't feel like we talk about Texas often enough, even though Texas is in our name.
Mhm.
Austin is so strategically located in the middle of Texas. So our students have amazing access to huge metro areas in Dallas, in Houston, and in San Antonio. So for, those students that might be interested in healthcare or energy, Houston is a great metro area for those industries. If students are interested in finance, for example, Dallas has become a really huge hub for major banks and financial services firm. San Antonio has a lot of manufacturing. So you add that to kind of the tech influence in Austin, there is accessibility to industries and functions kind of all over the place. And being the flagship university of the state of Texas, we do have this amazing home court advantage when it comes to placing students and building connections for those students as they're going to school. So I often talk about Austin, not often enough about Texas. So I wanted to complement that today.
That's a really good point. Yeah, we have a good number of small but mighty, team of oil and gas clients that we work with every year, and they, love the Texas schools and love McCombs for that. So, are there any new developments, on or off campus that we should know about? Maybe things that are not there today, but that might be coming sort of down the line.
Yeah, so I'll first speak about a little bit about AI, something that I hear a lot on the road from students, and what is Macom's position around AI and offerings that we have. And This past year was the year of AI at UT, but we've been at the AI game at UT Austin for the past 5 decades. When I was a student, there were machine learning classes that were not called AI, but
Oh,
provided the framework and the ground base for the classes that are being delivered today. So here at Texas McCombs specifically, we have launched a few electives around AI, including one of our custom core courses so most students will take that course, which is called AI in Business and Society. But we also have had a lot of just-in-time webinars and seminars that are delivered in the use of AI for our students. And interestingly enough, some micro consulting projects with some Austin startups and even larger firms on how to leverage AI. So tons of work there. But we've been at this for a while. So for prospective students that are looking at schools and considering kind of AI, they should be considering AI and how it's going to impact the work they do in the future. We have been doing that work for a long time. This next year is going to be, so every year the president selects an industry, a function or idea or something to be the year of at UT. This next year is going to be year of energy. And it's something that we're extremely strong at, not only the traditional oil and gas space, right, but all the clean technologies when it comes to renewables, so solar, wind. We have concentrations behind that in the MBA program, but really leveraging, again, interdisciplinary opportunities across campus to make that year of energy come to fruition too. So those are the two things that I think are developments on campus that really help showcase the areas that we're strong at and that our students can leverage.
super exciting. And it's great, just having done this work for a while to see all these developments. I think back in the day when I was in school in 2008, that wasn't talked about, right? So there were no, at least where I went, there was nothing on AI. So it's exciting to see everything. So tell us a little bit more about if you had to say, like, what's the ethos or what's the mission of McCombs? Sometimes people say, I want to understand the school so I can feel like I'm part of it.
Yeah, understanding a little bit of that secret sauce maybe that makes us special. So, here at Texas McCombs, kind of the slogan for the MBA is "Here you are, what's next?" And we really put you, our student, in the center of everything that we do. So, and the MBA program here is just not about shaping careers; it's about shaping the future. So pursuing an MBA, specifically a full-time MBA, it's a 2-year immersive experience. It's really a crossroads to really define not only who you are, but what you want to achieve. So here at Texas McCombs, we embrace that space wholeheartedly and really work with the students to make that work for them. So kind of what comes into play is that customization, flexibility, molding the program in the way that's going to provide the student with the most impact. We have the backdrop of both Texas and Austin to provide our students with a test kitchen of ingredients where they can be innovative, try new things on, try new hats, new cowboy hats on maybe, and see what is right for them. And I think something that makes us really special is that we not only bring different people together, so that diversity of the cohort for us is really important, but we celebrate those differences in and out of the classroom. So our students, I experienced this as a student a while back, but it's something that I see every year at graduation, is that partnership between the student and the school. And again, putting the students really at the center of everything that we do so that they will be ready to make a positive impact in the communities that they're going to be a part of after they graduate.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, culture is really important to applicants, so it's helpful to give people a feel for what's really going on there. So Mulva Hall, what should folks know about that, and how's that sort of changing the dynamic for students on campus?
Yeah, no, so a couple really exciting developments on campus. I saw, I saved this one. I like it that it has its own question because it's pretty big. So for those of you listening that have not been to Austin before, the University of Texas at Austin sits right in the middle of the city. So it's really close to downtown. It is an urban campus. And within the UT Austin campus, our graduate school building, Rolling Hall, which is less than 6 years old, sits at the corner entry of the campus. Next door to Rolling Hall, we have our hotel and business conference center. So those are attached together. The faculty offices and undergraduate building was a couple blocks away. So MOVA Hall is a $450 million project. It's one of the most expensive on-campus buildings that we have ever built at the University of Texas. And we do things that are big at the University of Texas. So that's a big deal. But we're going to move that whole facility. So undergraduate business students and the faculty offices, plus a ton of collaboration space, the career management space, all coming right across the street from our graduate school building. So in a way, we're building this little business neighborhood on the corner of campus, and we're just really excited about future kind of collaborative programs that we can bring together. The building is going to be amazing. It's going to be 17 stories tall, so it's going to be huge. And construction is going to take the next 4 years, but we've already broken ground and really excited to see that come to fruition.
That's great. Well, everything really is bigger in Texas. Uh, Amazing. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of Texas and speaking of, sort of globally, right? Sometimes people ask me, well, how many people are like me that are going? Where's the student makeup, from? Are you seeing anything different as far as makeup of students applying to McCombs? Are there any particular groups of students that you want more of?
We are really fortunate to have a strong and diverse applicant pool. So our applicants come from all over the world, from a variety of industry and functional areas, and we don't have any specific quotas or goals when it comes to bringing the class together. It's really a reflection of the applicant pool that we have. Um, I think the nature of a 2-year MBA program allows us the space to bring individuals from different walks of life, academic backgrounds, functional areas. So there isn't really an ideal profile of the Macomb student. You don't have to have a business undergrad or engineering background. You don't have to be from Texas to go to school in Texas. We don't have any state mandates on the percentage of Texans that we need to have in the program. So I think bringing your full story into play is really key. However, there are some qualities and ideas that applicants can demonstrate that helps us understand who you are and see if you're a fit with our culture. So when you think about the state of Texas, it's kind of a pioneering place. It was a not super hospitable place back 200, 300 years ago when people were moving here. So I think there is a little bit of that pioneering spirit. And we like to see applicants that are brave, down to earth, optimistic, really forward looking, because that is the kind of student that really excels here at Texas McCombs. So no matter your academic functional backgrounds, if you demonstrate that pioneering spirit, optimism is really key. And I think what Austin allows us to bring to the table and what applicants can demonstrate in the application is if they are enterprising, innovative, open-minded. I think that spirit of the city of Austin is really key for us, and we like to see that in the applicants too. So I would worry a little bit about a little bit less about the things that you can't control,
Mhm.
like the things that already happened in the past. But I think talking about those forward-looking desires and then also qualities that you bring to the table that are who you are is really key.
Fantastic. Well, clearly you value, right, applicants that are interested in McCombs and want to come to Austin and want to come to Texas. What are some ways in which someone can demonstrate interest in McCombs? And if you're comfortable what are things that people really shouldn't worry about doing? Everyone always asks us, what's too much, what's too little. So help us think through that.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I think, start with the website. You can review the website really easily when you're waiting for a plane to board or something like that. And then I think the next more logical step in the exploration process is to attend a virtual event, maybe an information session, something that you're on listening only mode, that you can kind of gather thoughts, write down notes, and then when you're ready, we want to meet you. We love, 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 love meeting our candidates. So you can attend a virtual event and engage with us virtually. You can schedule a time to meet with one of our current student ambassadors. Our admissions officers are also available to meet with prospective students. And for those of you that are either in a major world city or a major US city, come visit us at an event in your city. And if possible, not possible for everybody, come visit us in Austin so we can host you and showcase really what the program is all about.
Great. Fantastic. Yeah. A
Oh,
lot
the
of events.
second part. Oh, the second part of what people shouldn't do. Oh my gosh. Okay, so there's a couple pet peeves. So, um, I I'm fairly active on LinkedIn, and I actually encourage all of you that are listening to connect with me on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me directly via message. But one of my pet peeves is when we have candidates that reach out to my whole team with the same message at the same time. And then sometimes they forget to change the name. So just a couple days ago, what was it yesterday? It was last night. I was going through my LinkedIn messages. There was there was a message on my LinkedIn addressed to Stace Bataz, who is the director on my team that oversees a full-time MBA program. So if you're reaching out to us directly, we love to meet you again. But be thoughtful and intentional about that outreach and what do you want out of the time that we'll have together.
Right. He was a busy guy, so use his time wisely. And a lot of great events. I'm at a lot of these events, as you know. So these are all really really good to go.
Yep. Yep.
And anyone that's not sure about which events are good to go to, or you can also reach out to us, personalmbacoach.com. Happy to tell you all about all the different events that are coming up in all the different markets. So thinking more about now, how does somebody actually get into McCombs? One may consider there be some overlap maybe across some of the new application questions. Is there any advice you would have for someone trying to put their best foot forward with the essays? I know that's sort of an open-ended question.
Yeah, no. So I always love talking about the application components that help prospective students tell their and craft their story. So the essays fall into that realm. We have the video assessment and also the admissions interviews. So I think those three things together really can allow applicants to tell a really robust story. So we did change the essays this year. We went from one essay to three essays that are 250 words each. And I'll kind of just walk through briefly each of the essays and provide just a little bit of insight in what we're looking for. So, because I think that might help clarify some questions that some of the listeners may have. So the first one is kind of what ambitious goal or change do you aim to achieve with an MBA? And why is the Texas McCombs your ideal launchpad? So this is the really traditional why an MBA and why McCombs. So really articulate your personal and professional ambitions and how they align with our unique MBA offerings. So kind of knowing why you want an MBA, why McCombs is really key on that first one. The second one starts to get, I think, even a little more personal, and I think a little more exciting for us in the admissions committee. So the gist of the prompt is please share unique qualities that you possess that highlight your potential to shake up the status quo in your professional life. So here, it's going to take a little self-awareness, but really introspect on your leadership potential and highlight those qualities that set you apart from other candidates. That can be qualities that are innate to you as a person. Maybe you're someone that just brings people together really easily and never met a stranger and make sure that everybody in your team feels welcomed and heard. or maybe it's a particular professional knowledge that you bring to the table. Maybe you're a CPA and you're an expert in accounting, and that is kind of what differentiates you from other candidates. So you can think about it a couple of different ways, but we kind of really want you to introspect and be self-aware when discussing the answer to that particular prompt. The last one is, and the final essay prompt, the gist of it is what fuels your drive to lead change and make your mark in the world. So what we're looking for here is, what is your inspiration? It can be a person, it can be an experience, it can be a value that you hold really dear to you and it's innate to who you are, that motivates you to make that meaningful impact in the world. So I think both prompts 2 and 3 allow for a lot of introspection, but it will also allow prospective students to differentiate themselves from other applicants if they make the best use of the prompts.
Super helpful. Thank you. Thank you very much for that insight.
Yeah.
So that's what are some things that you can do. Maybe going back to maybe some things that you shouldn't do. We like talking about pitfalls. We have this personal MBA Coach top 10 pitfalls to avoid, and we have webinars. You can find them on our website. When you think about people that you feel like you could like, but they did something that you wish they didn't do. What's a common pitfall you see applicants falling into when applying?
Yeah, so I think a common one that we see is too much focus on your professional life. So the reason why we revamped the essays, introduced the visual assessment, the reason why Texas McCombs allow all applicants to submit all application components is because we want to hear your full story. We do not want to hear the repeat story of that one project that you're proudest of while at work. So in the context of the application and who you want to be personally and professionally, bring in who you are as a person. The admissions committee wants to have an understanding of who you are from a 360-degree view. So a common pitfall is not using the prompts and kind of the real estate that we give you to bring your full story to fruition, and just focusing on a repeat of your resume.
Great, super helpful.
Yeah.
Well, any final tips, for our audience, either to fall in love with or get excited about McCombs as they think
Yeah.
through this?
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I had another one, which is a big pet peeve.
Sure.
So it kind of goes along with the LinkedIn person that called me
Okay.
by the wrong name,
Mhm.
which is, this sounds so trivial, but it happens every year, which is just not being specific enough about schools when discussing why an MBA. So make sure that what you're talking about from that perspective is specific to the schools. And when leveraging some part of another school's essay, remove that school's name from the essay. It happens every year.
Mhm.
And, I love my colleagues at UCLA, at Michigan, at Virginia, but every once in a while we see their school's name come up in our essays. And it's not, not the best foot forward that we want to see. So I kind of wanted to bring that because it may seem trivial, and I know you all that are helping with applicants in their journey talk about it, but it happens all the time. But I think, final tips or things to leave your audience with. Like the city of Austin, our team is really accessible and approachable. So do not hesitate to email us, visit us at an event on campus and ask questions. We're really here to help. So I do encourage all your listeners to reach out to me on LinkedIn. And we can start that conversation. Oftentimes, I serve as a little bit of a matchmaker because I don't know all the answers, and oftentimes the questions that prospective students have are best answered by our ambassadors. But love to be kind of that front line of contact and start the conversation of the listeners with Texas McCombs.
Fantastic. Well, Diego, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you here. I know we've been talking with us for a little bit of time, so super
Yeah.
excited that we could coordinate and get this going. And yeah, if anyone has any other questions about about McCombs. You know, go to events, right? They have a lot of great content out there. Visit the website. Absolutely everything that Diego said here. If you'd like some help with the applications, feel free to reach out and let us know. We'd be happy to help you. So thank you again, and wishing everybody the best of luck.